Your specific person is wrapped around your finger. They're showing up in literally any way that you want, and all you have to change is the way that you view them. And so I wanted to bring an example from a recent coaching session that I think is going to hit home for a lot of people. And that is when you see your specific person showing up in your reality in a way that you don't want. Most of the time, we address or we look at this version of them as the old version. And you've probably heard people say, well, I don't want to respond. I don't want to think about, I don't want to give attention to this old version of my specific person. And this makes sense because as you begin to manifest, you begin to create a new version of your specific person and a new version of yourself, basically manifesting the perfect reality and having your specific person show up in any way that you want. And that is why I talked about your specific person literally being wrapped around your finger. But there is a hidden problem with this notion and how if you are not seeing your specific person show up in your reality in the way you desire, but you've said that exact phrase, we need to remember if we are stating, I don't want to respond to my specific person, I don't want to respond to that old version, they're not acting in the way that I want. Remember, how you are viewing them has everything to do with the way that they are showing up. So if you are stating, I'm not responding to that old version of my specific person, you are implying that they are not this new version. They still need to change. There are problems with them. You are assuming them to be negative or bad or whatever it was from the previous state that you did not want. But then we have to ask ourselves, if we are attempting or need to assume as if our specific person is changed, and we're currently assuming that they are the old version, how can we ever see them begin to change? We're basically manifesting or doing the law of assumption in the opposite. We're looking at our external reality to show us something before we believe it. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, how do you think your specific person is acting or feeling, or who are they in your reality right now? Are you thinking that they are showing up as the old version and they need to change into the new? If so, the way to actually get them to show up in the way that you want is to begin assuming it first. You have to take whatever they're doing, whatever they're thinking, even if it's something that you don't want, and reframe it in a way that it is actually showing or changing them, that they are basically already the person that you want. Because as I mentioned, the more we actually just assume that they're the old version, the more we create more of that old version. And this results in an aspect of waiting, right? We're waiting for our specific person to show up to us in the perfect way. But whenever we are waiting or in the feeling of waiting, we're actually giving more power to our external reality because we're waiting for our external reality, our 3D, to show us what we want before we are believing it. We are expecting them to change and then we'll feel into the state. But at no other point in time has this ever happened in your reality with law of assumption or manifestation. You always are in the feeling first. And you can actually think back to when you first ever met your specific person, right? You didn't have this thought that they are this bad version, this old version of themselves. You didn't maintain or keep those assumptions at all, right? You were imagining an amazing life together. You're imagining all the positive feelings, all the positive emotions, all the positive things that you would do together. And that was the feeling that sustained in the here and now. You felt it before you actually experienced this with them. And that's what caused your relationship to manifest or get created in the first place. Even if you are just friends or right now in no contact, or they're someone who you've never met, right? Your assumption and your belief and your desire was created based on how you are perceiving the future, but that is always in the here and now. The more we actually imagine that they will change, that they need to change, that they are not good, but they will become good, the more we actually just create more of this same exact state. I was being completely serious when I said your specific person is wrapped around your finger. Every assumption you create is a way that they want to show up, and everything is you pushed out, meaning that they actually want to show up for you in that way. If you were a reflection of you, wouldn't you want to do everything to make you happy? I know there's a lot of yous in that, but just think, if your reality is you, is this reflection of you, of course it wants to create and show up in the exact way you want. So whether that is something positive, like imagining them pursuing you, chasing you, they'll show that. Or if it's something negative, that's how much your reality loves you. No matter what you want, even if it is perceivably negative, it will give it to you. That's how much your reality wants to reflect your current assumptions and your current beliefs. I did want to show you just a quick success story showing how this effect happens with everything, even communication. If you are in no contact with your specific person, if you're imagining or expecting them to change, we are thus implying they haven't already changed and thus just going to receive more of what we feel they haven't changed out of yet. And so what I'm going to put up on the screen is just an example from an email coaching session in which they actually manifested during one of my videos. So even if you sign up for coaching, you're still not outside the realm of I'm going to make you manifest in my videos too. But here's what they wrote. They were on the following Sunday morning. I manifested a message from him while watching your video. Yay, I'm one of your success stories. And just think about this though. If they were continuously assuming, my SP is someone, this old version, they have all these negative characteristics about them, they have so much to do to change, everything we do in our entire assumption is going to be placed in that way upon them constantly, but we need to shift it first. And I know it doesn't seem intuitive. For some reason in our mind, we think, I'll feel something once my specific person shows up in that way, or I'll be happy once this happened. I'll feel in communication once this happens, but you need to feel that way first. And even going deeper, how would going to like a Neville Goddard or a Joseph Murphy metaphor, how would Jesus, so this individual, the perfect manifester, the version of basically the metaphor of you, how would Jesus see people in their reality? Would Jesus look at you and be like, wow, you have so much potential? Or would Jesus look at you and be like, wow, you are absolutely perfect? How would Jesus or your God state, your higher self, view you or everyone in our reality? They would immediately view them through perfect eyes. And that's why Neville Goddard wrote, again, I think I've referenced this a couple times. I don't even remember exactly what the title of the book is, but one of his books he wrote as if he was looking through pure eyes, looking through the mindset of that perfect manifester of Jesus, or someone who is really assuming their reality to be absolutely flawless along with everyone in it. And it really is, you'll understand and notice that it totally is us. It's always us. Your perception, the way your specific person shows up, it's always you. It couldn't be anyone but you. And always keep that in mind. So if you are making this statement, I don't want to respond to the old version of my specific person. Remember, they're only acting as the old version because we make that statement. We make that assumption. We are stating basically that they are not changed, that they are something bad. So how could they ever show up differently? Begin to reevaluate. How do you think your specific person is showing up in your reality right now? Wherever they are, what characteristics are you assuming? And I'm talking about right now, wherever your specific person's at, whether they're with you at the current moment, across the world, how do you think or assume them to be in this current moment? And that's going to give you everything that you need to know. If you did have any questions on this, make sure to leave them in the comment section below. Remember, I am making sure all of my subscribers, all of my members, everyone watching is not entering 2025 without their specific person. So I'm going to basically, if you don't want to do it, I'm going to manifest it for you. And if you did want to reach out to me personally, like you didn't want to comment a question below or anything like that, you can reach out to me on my website at kyleaugustcoaching.com. And a big, huge thanks for stopping by, hanging out with me. Thank you so much for the likes on the video as well. You are doing absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to hear your success story. So I'll see you in my video tomorrow.